Keep playing.
Welcome back to another episode of Eagles Weekly. Here are your hosts, Brett, Haas, Mac, and Jack. How we feeling, fellas?
All right, welcome back to episode 11, Eagles Weekly. Didn't say Eagles Daily this time. Haven't messed up yet. I'm one of your hosts, Brett Ryder, joined today by international marketing guru Mac Hutchinson and our ACC athlete, Jack Cyberlick, batting 1,000 right now. Boys, how you doing?
We're doing. That's what I got. What do you think, Jack?
Hey, today's Tuesday, October 22nd. 13 days until we're inside Conti Forum for BC basketball game one. I'm kidding.
No, you're not. No, you're
just
not.
recovering from those two tough losses, you know. But yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
Someone ask me.
How you doing, bro?
Yeah, Brett. Not well.
Not doing good.
Not doing good.
Not doing good.
Yeah.
Terrible, no good, very bad day. Very bad couple weeks. Terrible month.
Bad month.
Ever
month,
since
yeah.
the end of the first half against UVA, man, just has not looked good.
Yeah.
Vibes are too high, I guess, at that point. Like the chance to go 5-1, up 14-0. The boys were all chilling in person too. So, you know, we're not allowed to have nice things. I think that's what happened.
At least not this year.
You know.
We'll see.
Yeah. It kind of caught up to us too. I mean, even like the two wins before those two losses didn't feel that good. And then it caught up to us, UVA, and then I mean that Virginia Tech game was just it didn't matter like what happened. Like that first half was just one of the worst things I've ever seen.
The Mizzou loss isn't looking too great either. Sorry, Jack, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, jump on what Max said with the Michigan State and Western Kentucky wins. They didn't feel great, and you were kind of hoping they'd learn from that at UVA, and then they didn't adjust at UVA, and then you have the bye week, and you're hoping with the extra week you can see some sort of improvement, and then just to see them go out 28-0 in that first half, just lay an absolute egg. I mean, that was I have it in the agenda. Like I hyperbolically called it the worst first half of all time, but I can't remember.
I said the same thing, Jack.
A worse one. I cannot like. I mean, Louisville last year went down 28-0. I guess, right?
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's up there with that. It's up there with that though. So
I think it felt worse. Because
you think so?
It's a Virginia Tech team that like we should have been competitive with. Like they're not like. I mean, we went into the game not feeling like hugely confident, but it's not like we're playing Clemson or anything.
Right.
Like,
or even the Louisville team last year, which was
the Louisville team last year was
that's a good point. That is a good point.
I think they were ranked at the time we played them last year, and like Virginia Tech, they score 7, and then we just go back, fumble it right away, give them a 14-0 lead right out of the gates. Like,
dude,
that's the stuff that happens under Halfley in 2022 when you're going 3-9. Like,
it's not good though when like that half against Virginia Tech, we're like, what's the only other time we did that? Oh, it's against the team we're about to play this week last year. So, I mean, that's the general feeling right now, right? It's like, oh man, 2 of our worst halves of football came last week and against this team that we're about to play Friday night.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a bad look. And then obviously the third quarter is like the greatest quarter by any team of all time. Greatest like 5 minutes by any team like of all time with like what they did to like come back and then whatever. I mean, Morales gets like what should have been a first down, doesn't get it, then they don't get it on 4th down, and next thing you know, it's 35-21. The game is like over at that point. But I mean, the reality is you can't dig yourself into a 28-0 hole and come up with like ticky-tacky excuses why you got fucked. I mean, that's the honest to God truth. Not to jump ahead, but
Was it Morales that they called down on that third and whatever?
Yeah, it was a shin. They called it shin down.
Yeah, because I saw on Twitter. I saw it live. I was like, oh, like I didn't think he was down, but I saw people on
Yeah.
Twitter saying like that was the right call. Like, but was his shin down? Like, I didn't.
It
I
looked
mean,
like-
yeah, it probably
Yeah,
was. You
I think it
know,
was down,
yeah,
but- I mean, honestly, I think the biggest debate was the 4th and 1 call, right? So I tweeted a little kind of like thing about how I thought that was the right call going for it, obviously, because obviously it was like one of the best comebacks in like a 5-minute span, just like you said, Brett, and it was definitely the right call to go for it. I think everyone's gripe was, of course, going shotgun on 4th and 1.
yeah.
I know. A bunch of people have come back, and I know. I understand that both him and Grayson don't take the ball under center. That's not what they've done. They've never really practiced it. It's not their thing. But like it comes down to like they've done this multiple times.
Fucking thank you.
They've done this multiple
Yes.
times. It hasn't worked. So I mean, like, so maybe do pistol. Like maybe try something different. Maybe like have Tommy have a few more options there. I do something different. Because it's not working, or you know what, get him to practice a quarterback sneak. We had a whole bye week to do that. We had multiple weeks. Like, it just seems to me that's the frustrating thing where, yeah, I understand they don't take it under center, but then why are we running the same exact play out of shotgun, and it's happened multiple times in key situations? That was the play of the game. I mean, we had all the momentum in the world. You make that, more than likely you're scoring again, maybe tying up the game. That's a whole new ball game. I mean, that was everything, and that's a play where you need to have like a play that's like your number one play. You know you're going to get a yard. You know, like everyone else in the nation has a quarterback sneak that converts over 90%. What are we doing? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, because then from there they turn the ball over on downs. Virginia Tech scores. BC fumbles on the very next possession. Virginia Tech scores. So it goes from 28-21 to 42-21, right? And then that was the game at that point. It's a bad fucking look all around, It's a bad look, And I get, we can talk about his I said it off air, but it's like cringy quote about not fumbling the ball and holding on to the ball and whatever else. But at the end of the day, dude, like it's these type of things that, I mean, the first 3 drives of the game, they had 4 play or 5 plays on the first drive of the game, punted it away, they score a touchdown, then they fumble it 2 times in a row, and then both result in touchdowns. And next thing you know, like you've had the ball or in the third one, they had that long ass drive and they got down to what? Like the inside the 10. Yeah.
They're on the 5-yard line.
5-yard line. Like you could have sneezed the ball in the end zone.
They fumble in the 6, and then Virginia Tech goes tooting for 11 yards, tooting for 83 yards. So 2 plays, 94 yards, and it's 21-0.
Yeah.
Before you even know it.
Yeah. So instead of 14-7, now it's 21-0, and you're just not cooking at all. And then they punt the ball like 3 or 4 times before the end of the half, and next thing you know, like you said, 21-0. Tootin's absolutely the funny thing too is like everyone's like posting his transfer thing to BC, like, oh, like do you remember, like yes, I remember, like, and it's like BC people posting it as if like, yeah, like we remember,
guys. I believe they had 4 scores off of 4 BC turnovers. Like that's right. I'm pretty sure I got that right. They had 4 turnovers. Virginia Tech scored in all of them.
2 fumbles in the first half, right?
An interception and then a turnover on downs. That's 4.
Did they throw? I don't think Tommy threw an interception. Did he?
I think it was a fumble.
That's another fumble,
right? Yeah, it was a fumble.
I mean,
in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So 3 fumbles that resulted in touchdowns and a turnover on downs.
Yeah, turnover on downs.
Yeah.
Second in the nation in fumbles per game. Boston College now. I mean,
was that AJ Black that just posted that like a few?
I think Trevor just put it down. 2.14 fumbles per game, guys.
Shout out AJ Black, by the way.
We fumbled 15 times. We've lost 5 last season. I mean, this is just atrocious. And I mean, obviously, Bill O'Brien, we put that
the
quote.
numbers from last year.
BC fumbled 15 times and lost 5 last season. The Eagles have fumbled 15 times and lost 7 of those fumbles already this year. So,
excuse me?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And again,
being just over half the season.
2.14 fumbles per game, which is tied second most in the nation, folks.
My God. Like when we hired Bill, like we kind of had the vision, and we got this in the first few games of like this disciplined football team that doesn't commit penalties and takes care of the ball. And we saw it against Florida State and Duquesne, and of course, both those teams turned out to suck. So of course we saw it against them. But now we're seeing like it's the same old shit that we saw last year. Like not taking care of the ball. Like I mean, I don't think the penalties were particularly bad lately, but it's just like undisciplined, just like shit that loses you football games against like middling ACC teams, which you can't afford to do.
No,
you're BC, and it's just like
they don't have
incredibly frustrating. When and then like you talk to him, and then he gets snippy about it in the press conferences with AJ Black, and then he's complaining about the student turnout for the next game and talking about the music pregame. Like,
what are we talking about?
It's frustrating, man. It's frustrating.
Yeah, everything's kind of cringe now, especially when you're sitting there 4-3, 2 losses in a row. I think the quote, Brett, that you were
read it.
I'll read it. So
read it.
With basketball ball control today, Bill O'Brien responds with, "When you carry the football for Boston College, you're carrying the hopes and dreams of BC, the hopes and dreams of a football team, the school, the city, if there is fans in the city, which I believe there are, your families, their hopes and dreams."
What? What the fuck is that? What kind of response is that? You're 4-3. You fumbled the ball the most fucking times in the country. How about you talk about like fixing it? What are you talking about hopes and dreams for? How about the hope and dream to not fucking drop the ball on the ground? Like, what was that?
Coming to this season, I had the hopes and dreams of going 6-6 and making a ball game, and after fumbling the ball 15 times. Yeah, we might be wrong now. So you're carrying my hopes and dreams out there, guys. Come on.
Right in the sense that they were carrying the hopes and dreams, and they fumbled freaking 15 times so far.
They fumbled them. So what are we talking about? Like, talk about how you're gonna fix it. Like, don't like. But go ahead, like, fix the music because you don't like the music. The fuck are you talking about? I don't get it. I don't even like swearing a lot, but like that pissed me off. What do we at least with like, remember last year with Halfley when they won 5 games in a row and he was just like, yeah, the fans just like they counted us out. Now look at us. And then they lost 3 in a row and it was like, fuck you, dude. Like, you're always blaming everyone else but yourself. And now Bill O'Brien's out here just like hopes and dreams and bad music. I don't know what to tell you.
If we were 5-2 or 6-1 or whatever, maybe you wouldn't.
Sure.
Like the comments that drive me nuts is, I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to get the fan, whatever it is. But the comment of like getting the fans early and all this crap right now, it's like we get to the point of the season every year where like the school or like leadership starts to blame the fans a little bit. And it's kind of like that's the thing that frustrates me the most. It's like we are going to show up and support our team, but you got to win, and you can't like lose the way we just like. I think that's the biggest frustration for me is that with Bill coming in here, and of course this is with a grain of salt. This is his first year. None of these are his guys. We understand these are all Halfley's guys, but at the same time, we never thought he was going to have performances like Halfley where you go down 28.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
To go up down 28-0. And then to come back and say, like we need to get fans involved. It's just like we need to not go down 28-0, fumble the ball 15 times this season. Okay, fix that, and then we'll do there. So right now it's seeming like an ultimate rebuild year, and maybe we need to like just kind of we need a couple more weeks to understand that because right now it's just super frustrating from a fan's perspective.
I'll give you 2 reasons why the fan support's going to dwindle if you don't stop winning. The weather's not as good anymore, and there's a hockey team that's crushing it that just started playing on Friday. people went to the hockey game. It's not like all of a sudden like people are just losing interest in sports. Kids like winners. I like winners. You guys like winners. I mean, let's be completely honest here. Like that's how you're gonna keep the fans in the stands is by winning. You know what I'm saying?
That's the ultimate thing. That's what Boston's about. There's a reason people show up to the hockey game. They're ranked number 2. They're probably one of the best, if not the best, hockey team in the nation. You know, a great way to put this in perspective tonight is that Boston Celtics are about to raise banner 18. That place is about to be as packed as it possibly can be. I remember when I was like a lot younger, and you could go to a Celtics game pretty cheap, and there was no one in the stands because they were losers. They were losing back then. Yeah, you know what happens when you win in this city? People show up, and I think Bill knows this. He understands this. So, like some of this, you know, I don't know what he's talking about the media and all that. It's all good in games, but it's just like it's frustrating for a fan because I think we thought, and maybe this was on us, we thought, you know, we're going to see this success too early on, and we saw that in that first couple games. I think that's the super frustrating thing is that it's now the reality is this is going to take a couple more years, like the normal 3 to 4 years for Bill O'Brien to get his people in here and for that to be successful. But that's just super frustrating because you thought you had someone that you could, you know, get there a little bit quicker with, and it's seeming like that might not be the case.
Yeah, and looking back on those first few games, like, I mean, can you blame us for watching being a standalone game on Monday night after Labor Day against the number 10 team in the country at the time, crushing them on their home field and like getting excited about that? I mean, there's no way we could have known that Florida State was going to start 1-6 and be as horrible as they were.
Right.
And like, of course, we beat Duquesne 56-0 after that. So of course we were riding high, and like, of course, and then yeah, we got like a little taste of like what a winner feels like at BC. Like, you know, fans are packing the stands, things felt exciting. We get the game-winning drive against Michigan State and Red Bandana night, which felt magical. But yeah, I mean, if you look back at the season, there's not, with like, you know, hindsight being 2020, it does make sense. Florida State stinks, Duquesne stinks. We went to the wire with Michigan State and Western Kentucky. Like,
and Michigan State's not that good either.
No, they're not.
They're being honest.
Bottom third Big Ten team, like probably bottom fourth. Like, they're not that good. So
yeah.
Like in hindsight, like it makes sense that this team is like never going to be that good, but it just hurts, especially now, because like we felt what it felt like on September 2nd, you know, beating Florida State on national TV. Like, so I think that's why it hurts a little extra right now. That's why we're frustrated after like 2 consecutive losses. And you know, like you just got to think about like, I mean, I know you guys are positive coming into the year. I predicted 6-6. I didn't expect 6-6 to play out the way it did, or it might not. It might not. That remains to be seen. But yeah, but I think it's just helpful to remind ourselves that, you know, this kind of thing like doesn't turn around in a year, especially, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like helpful to remember that, but you know,
For
still,
sure.
it just sucks. Given how
I think it just like really hurts at the fact that like how it's looked. I don't think anyone really expected it to like look like the bottom to fall out the way it really has. If anything, I was almost kind of expecting Bill O'Brien to like stabilize what their, you know, floor had been. You know, I guess like what their ceiling had been and turn that into the floor. Like, yeah, it's all. I mean, at the end of the day, it is all Halfley's guys, and it was a late coaching hire in the cycle. So I think 6-6, like especially looking back, like that probably was the correct answer. But you know, when you do look at it overall, especially like you said, hindsight being 2020, the way that it's kind of played out, like up to this point, to be 4-3 and how they're 4-3, is not the way that you would have wanted it to be. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't want like a collapse against UVA. You wouldn't have won an absolute thrashing at Virginia Tech. And now you're looking down the line at Louisville, who you might get beat the fuck up by them. Then you got to go down to SMU. That's a tough game. Then you got to play Syracuse. That's a very tough game. And Pitt's ranked right now. Pitt's kind of where and Pitt, for all the talk, Pitt was awful last year. They beat us, but Pitt was an awful team last year. They're much improved. So I don't think it can necessarily be understated. There's like a twofold thing here where it's kind of like teams can get better, year after year. And I understand that there is kind of like some patience with it. But the way that it has looked has been like very disheartening in a way, and it hasn't been fun. And the offense has looked flat out terrible at times when it has been very effective at times too. And it's just the way that it's played out that has been very hard to watch, from the sidelines.
I think there's two things for me why this is like very frustrating. The first is what you're saying, Brett, where it's like it's not just that they've lost, it's just how they've lost and how they've kind of not progressed throughout the first half of the year and the beginning of this second half. Is that at the beginning it seemed like they got their offense under control, they have a good identity, and then that fell off. And then it was like, okay, their defense needs improvement, and then that improved, and then that fell off. And then it was like, okay, the thing that's really frustrating is punting, and then we have the Virginia Tech game. Maybe punting was the only thing that was good in that entire game. So it's like what is bad then becomes good, what was good becomes bad. And I think that's the most frustrating thing. It's like they're not all improving in sync. It's like things are falling off that we thought were solid, coming in from last season, thinking that the offense was the best part of the identity of this team, that being like the thing that's like the most, confusing and hard to understand. That's very frustrating. And then the second part of the frustration is you're looking ahead, right? And you have besides Mizzou, probably the hardest matchup of the season coming up Friday night against Louisville. And you look at that team, and then you look at the rest of the season. There's no easy matchup anymore. Every one of these games is going to be difficult. So you're thinking, man, not only is this a rebuild, we're just trying to get to 5-6 wins so we can go to a bowl game. Is that what we're looking at right now? That becomes extremely frustrating for a fan base that just thought, hey, we have our coach, we have our identity, we're going into this, season really well, and then completely fall flat in the last kind of 4 games and lose that identity. Is extremely frustrating going to the hardest part of your schedule.
Yeah, we were talking about this before the show, and I said this in a few of the preseason episodes as well, that the 4.5 game over under felt so free preseason, and then it felt extremely free when we start 4-1, and then you're up 14-0 against UVA. And I said to you guys, like, we there's a really good chance that we would have been first team in the country to hit our over. We've started 5-1, and now all of a sudden you're 4-3, and our 4 of our 5 final opponents are Louisville, Cuse, SMU, Pitt, all of whom are like in like the top 25 conversation on a weekly basis. So dropping both of UVA and Virginia Tech, you just put yourself so behind like the 8 ball, the sticks, whatever you want to call it, in terms of getting to that 6-win threshold, which I think to have any sort of positive feelings about this season, like just making a bowl game just feels like a bare minimum requirement. So I mean, like, in the same way that you don't want to face 3rd and longs, you want to do your work on 1st and 2nd downs. You don't have a 3rd and 10. Like dropping games to UVA, Virginia Tech, when you have your last 5 opponents being as tough as they are, it's just not the way that you envision a 6-6 season like playing out. So if they want to get 1 win the rest of the way, or 2 wins, much less any more than that, like they got their work cut out for them for sure.
Jack, you nervous about the 4.5 at all right now?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think I only put I didn't put a ton of money on it, but it was a lot of money for me in terms of what I bet.
Yeah.
So I am sweating that out. And if you told me in the first quarter against UVA that I will be sweating this out, I'd say you're a madman. But here we are staring down the barrel of a 4-8, 5-7 season.
Syracuse is 5-1 with a first-year head coach, by the way.
Yeah,
I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, and Syracuse, they were like we beat them at Cuse last year, didn't we? Like they were right around where we were. So
Well, it's going to be one of their tougher matchups in at Alumni this year, so that's another thing to look ahead to. And yeah, that 4.5. I mean, you're almost feeling now. It's just crazy that we're talking about this. This season has been like the total roller coaster as far as expectations go. I mean, it's just been crazy. Now we're talking about, hey, can we just get to a 5th win so we could, maybe be invited to a bowl, and then maybe a 6th win would be great because then we'd go to a bowl. I mean, that's what we're talking about right now, I think. So, all right, we're going to preview Louisville in a sec, but yeah, I think that's going to be one of our hardest matchups, for the rest of the season this Friday night. We're hoping that the atmosphere and the fans can give us a little bump because we need everything this Friday night.
I mean, before we talk about Louisville, do you guys have anything else you want to dig into about specifically about the Virginia Tech game?
Brett, do you have anything that you want to talk about with that game?
That game fucking sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, before we move on, two things that I just wanted to talk, kind of highlight on from that game was that one, it wasn't a game where they couldn't move the ball really. Like they had their drives, when they were, they fumble, they allow a score, they fumble quickly. Without another score, down 14-0. They drive down to the 5-yard line. You think they're going to make a 14-7 game? They don't. And then you see the third quarter where they come out of the half, get a stop, score right away, get some timely turnovers. So and then when they had that drive where they could have tied it up, they did show some life driving the ball, but they just kept shooting themselves in the foot and setting themselves back. And that's the kind of thing that a coach like Bill O'Brien is supposed to.
You nailed it, Jack. You nailed it, though. It's like they were moving the ball, which makes us even more frustrating, right? It's like they were moving the ball. They just had to execute when it mattered, or not make the dumbest mistakes when you got into the red zone. And what's very confusing about the scene, I just talked about how once you think you understand them, you don't. The offense needs to be a little more consistent besides the stupid mistakes and the turnovers. And then the defense, we talked about bend, don't break. All they did was break. All they did was break. It was break. There wasn't even a bend. There wasn't time to bend because it was just a break. It was 1 play, 2 plays, touchdown. After forever, the whole season, I was saying, what a great scheme by Tim Lewis. The bend, don't break. Well, I have no idea anymore. I'm done. Bend, don't break. That's all it is now. So that's my last word on the whole team right now.
Dude, I might have cooked on episode 1. I might have cooked.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have any specific numbers in front of me, or I have the plays, but I don't know. It felt like every other play was a 20-yard run by Tootin or a 30-yard
or an 80.
I'm looking look at the first 3 drives. 11 plays, 88 yards.
Hurts.
4 plays, 19 yards after the turnover. 2 plays, 94 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they go and then going to the half.
Good.
They go 6 plays, 85 yards in a minute to close the half. That's all break. That's no bend, all break. Like you said, you think you have this team figured out, and
that's all.
All of a sudden, they do that
snap.
All of a sudden they do that against they're a little bit better than a mediocre team, but against a not great Virginia Tech team.
What was it, guys? Was it over?
They're not that good.
350 yards on the ground. It was over. Come on.
Tootin had 18 carries for 266, I think. That's Andre 2K numbers.
That's Andre 2K numbers.
How many touchdowns did he have? 17. It felt like it.
Oh man,
4.
I mean, 18 carries, 266, 3 touchdowns.
There was plays where we weren't even close to tackling the guy. It was just no.
That I forget what strive it was. They got the ball back. I think it was after a punt, and the first play from scrimmage, 61 yards untouched for the house.
Yeah, that happened.
Ridiculous. He looked like Saquon Barkley.
That did happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we lose Amar. He didn't play.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Out for the season now.
It
doesn't feel like they have a direction. right now.
7 games into the
yeah.
season. 7 games into the season. If someone came up to me on the street and said, "Hey, you covered Boston college football. Like, tell me about their team." I have no idea how to explain this team to them because, like, I thought the defense was solid, and then they have a game like that. I thought, coming into the season, the offense had identity, and they have no identity. I thought punting was horrible, and now punting might be good.
Hey,
what's
Zavenko's great.
no nothing.
Zavenko's great.
I know, like
That is Jack's guy.
Yeah, Jack, your guy did pretty good. It was a couple inside the 5, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, he. The thing about like I've realized this like past few weeks, he doesn't have a huge leg. Like he'll average like 40, 41 yards a punt, whatever. But he does pin them. He does tend to pin them like inside the 20, inside the 10. So
those short punts have been solid.
But punting's great. Special teams otherwise still. That fucking field goal attempt. Like,
oh wait, maybe we need to talk about that decision.
We need to talk about that before we move on.
What are we doing? Kicking that? Oh man. Okay. Yeah, this is it. This is the one. This is like
what's wrong with it? You don't like cutting a 2-score game into a 2-score game?
I never had a critique with like Bill O'Brien's in-game decisions until that moment. There's nothing he could say. I know he even mentioned this on the post-game presser and how he even admitted his rationale was wrong on this. But like, how can you make that big of a mistake in game? You're down 2 touchdowns. It doesn't matter if you kick the field goal. It doesn't matter. Like, and then for them to botch it was just like icing on the cake for that decision.
That shit was so funny.
Oh my God! Is there any room for rationalizing that and saying that?
Hey, let me ask you both. Did you guys laugh a little? I laughed.
I always laugh. I mean, that's the only thing you can do with BC kicks the
just like a little chuckle.
Yeah, I mean, it's 4th and what was it? 4th and whatever. Like was it 4th and like 3rd?
It was like a long. It was like 4th and like 13, but like that's.
I think this was 4th and 13. You're down 14 with 9 minutes.
You got to go for it.
Yeah, but what was up with the 3rd down play call too? That was so fucking stupid. Like, cut it to 4th and 6 and then go for it. Like, that was dumb.
The 2nd down play.
It was clear they were going to go for it, and they didn't go. It just,
yeah. I'm
no coach. I was a coach like 10 years ago.
That's my biggest grievance. That whole game was that decision.
Yeah, and I think AJ Black asked him about it after the game, and
he got fucking smoked for it.
He gave some snappy answer like, "Oh, AJ, you can write down wrong after this." Like,
which proved he knew it was a wrong decision, which is a good and a bad thing.
Who called that? Yeah, like was that? I want to know like what happened? Like, did Long have like a 4th down, like a 4th 13 play call, and Bill's like, "Now we're giving our kicker some work, like right now."
Send him out. He's like,
we made one.
The kid's got one field goal all year. Send him out.
Virginia Tech was scoring touchdowns all game. It is the dumbest, one of the dumbest. Was it an Adazio in-game decision where it just made no sense? Like that it was just. That's why. Oh man, just brought me right back to that where you're screaming at the TV like, what are you doing? Like, why would you do that? Putting your team.
The play after that, non sequitur. The play after that was the one play, 61-yard. So like it all came crashing down.
It was boom, boom, boom. Clear. The universe telling you that was a silly thing to do. I mean, big. Yeah.
That game was fucking stupid. I'm just gonna. That's my final take. That's it.
Very.
And does anyone want to add to that or no? Because I feel like
it makes
spot
sense.
on.
Like,
no,
we talked about last game. They haven't played a full 60-minute game all year. Like they played a 15-minute game. They had scored other points in the 3rd quarter.
Our best game was the first game against Florida State. That was our best game. We've only gotten worse.
That game in the 2nd and 3rd quarter. Like they played 30 minutes of football in that game.
Since our Florida State game, we've gotten worse. Our defense has gotten worse. Our identity has gone out the window. I
think Florida State just really fucking sucks.
That's what it comes down to, I think. I mean, they do. What are they, 1-5 right now?
I think they're like 1-7. I think we were bad too. They just are horrible. So we looked good.
Our best win right now is like Western Kentucky. It looks like, right?
No, I mean Michigan State.
Yeah, that's true.
Michigan State still. I mean, but like that makes
the Danny game though, right?
That makes the field storming look really crazy too. By the way, I think we're cursed. How do we fix it? Someone got to eat like dog shit or something. We gotta fix this.
I
I'm
don't
not
know,
doing it.
man.
I'm not doing. I don't care that much.
Hey,
I'm gonna go on.
I will
I'm
say-
gonna go on. I'm gonna go on record and say like I don't care about BC football enough to like reverse the curse and eat dog shit. But someone should.
We're not as bad as we're not Florida State. We'll
We're not
say
Florida
that.
State.
We're
At
not Florida
least that.
State. So
Not many are. They're
Wow.
holding down that 17th seed. All right, let's move on. I fucking hate this
Yeah.
game.
yeah, we have to move on.
Louisville
not-
Friday
Bad
night.
vibe. Bad vibe.
Louisville on a Friday night. Sick.
I was excited for this game. I was so excited for this game like a month ago.
Oh
when
my
I-
god, me too.
Remember when I cooked the take that we were gonna be 6-1 going into this game, and it was gonna be awesome, and we're not 6.
I might have to clip that before whatever you're about to say now, Brett.
Dude, don't do that. That's so fucking mean. That's like the meanest thing you could do. That's so mean. I mean, dude, like
that's been the season, man.
I was in my bag on that one for a little bit, and then it fell apart. It's not my
I think
fault.
that was the podcast where like, 4.5's hitting this week. Oh man.
Well,
and then I said it at Hoops
on.
on the Harbor too. I said it back, and I was like, "Hey, a lot of people are about to cash their bets today because they were up 14-0 at halftime, and the bevies were flowing. Not for me, but the
No, not
bevies
for
were.
you.
Louisville's 4-3. Oh my god, we're winning this game, boys. We're so fucking back.
Or
They
they
lost-
lost the record.
Wait, Brett,
Sure
did
did.
Lulu Brett just pop back in here?
Yeah, I thought Louisville was a powerhouse. They're not even good, dude. We're actually
Nah,
gonna.
bro.
Well,
probably-
look at their losses. They
They might be one of the best 4-3 teams in the
They
nation.
lost.
though.
They also 16th ranked Notre Dame, 22nd ranked SMU, and like what 8th ranked Miami, whatever.
Could have beat
That's
Miami
fine.
last week.
That's
Could've beat
fine.
Miami.
Look who we lost to. We we have good losses too. We lost to 20. We lost to 21. We lost by 21 to a very good, potentially playoff Virginia Tech team. Let's not forget that.
Yo, Mizzou last weekend, great comeback win.
We had a 14-point lead on UVA, known basketball powerhouse. Like that can't be
Not anymore.
understated.
Not anymore.
I know.
Tony Bennett's gone.
Is TJ Power coming back? TJ Power is coming back to BC.
Dude, he has a
Never-
non-sequitur. They now has a 30-day window. All the
Listen.
the entire UVA roster after coaching change. And
Listen.
Yo, Power's coming to BC.
I'll tell you what.
yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Uh-huh.
Like Beak always says, never wrong, just early. So
Very early.
just saying. We're back.
Yeah, man.
All right. How many? All right.
Louisville.
We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose to Louisville.
Wait, can I just say a few
I'm all the
updates
way back.
for Louisville, guys?
No.
yeah.
No, we have to talk about this because we didn't talk about Amari Jackson being out for the season because that
He's out.
popped up last.
Next
So,
man up.
Brutal.
Next man up. Next
And
man
then
up.
Cam Arnold is questionable. I doubt he's going to play, to be honest. He was in a sling at Monday practice. Did not
Bill said he's
participate.
day-to-day, right?
Yeah.
Bill said, and I quote, probably day-to-day as the sling is kind of precaution. But again,
Next
that
man
seems
up.
like Bill O'Brien. It seemed like Bill Belichick talk. It looks like Cam might be out for this
That's
game.
okay. That's all right. Ben, don't break defense. Tim Lewis got us. That's okay. Any other update? How's Tommy doing? Tommy's fine.
I mean, you guys can speak more on that. I think Tommy's game has gone a little bit downhill since that supposed injury. What was that, week 5? So
I need people to stop clamoring for Grayson James to replace Tommy
Yeah.
Castellano.
I mean,
Like,
Grayson,
let's-
all respect
not
to
gonna
Grayson
happen.
James.
It's just
and
not happening. I don't.
Thank you
I-
to Grayson
you know,
James for a great.
makes us more one-dimensional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What are we
Yeah.
talking about? I mean,
Yeah, it
I mean,
did seem like last
I
game
don't
at
know.
least they tried to use Tommy in the run game a little bit more. Like,
Yeah,
he
more
did
design.
have
More design
more
runs.
design
I
runs.
I
and
appreciated that.
I thought it looked like, this. If you didn't look at the scoreboard, you just looked at the play. It
Hey.
don't look too bad. Like, I'm glad
Those-
they're opening up the playbook for him a little
That
bit.
third quarter, I got no critique on Will Long. That entire third quarter was like called perfectly, but then it's just like it's the same thing with the team. It's just inconsistent. We have that
Right.
beautiful third quarter, but what was going on in the first half? What was going on in the fourth quarter?
I have a quick side question. There's nothing to do with football. Jack, do you get a haircut?
I did not get a haircut. No.
I don't know why. Dude, your hair looks great. Did you wet it? Slick it back? Like what's
Next got the flow going.
Oh, thanks.
happening?
I on the top. I guess we're talking about my hair. I normally don't put product in it. I normally just wear a hat. But I started putting some. It got a little long, so I had to put some product in it. So.
Oh, what kind of product?
Okay, Jack. We got
some
sponsors
pomade.
coming right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's our new sponsor?
I don't know. I actually don't know what the brand is, but I'll
For next time.
Yeah, for next time I'll
send me a
I'll shout them
picture.
out. Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
We'd rather talk about hair product than Louisville, guys. That's kind of where we're at. Right
we're going back to Believe in BC Hoop Days. This is now a hair podcast.
Yeah.
We're talking
men's
flow.
hair care.
Yeah,
Yep.
we're talking flow. Just a little. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really know much about hair. I'd rather talk about that than this game. Seems
No,
funny.
I mean Tyler Show is just a great. Did I say Shoff or the Louisville quarterback? He got 2,000 yards in the season already, 18 touchdowns,
Jesus
3 picks.
Christ. That's a lot for anyone
18,
listening.
18
that wasn't
touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So
that's good. That's very good.
After losing Omari Jackson in the secondary, it's not the kind of guy you want to be facing that next week.
That's a good player.
Yeah, we're gonna need a Don like Ezeraku and Horsley, Nukpal, and all of them. We're gonna really need to generate some pressure if we want to have any sort of chance in this.
We're gonna have to change it up from last. I mean, it was clear last week they were kind of like cheating up without Amari and trying to stop them at the line. The second they got past that line, it was resailing.
Whoa. He's got a 62% completion rate. He's got 18 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. This dude is gonna fucking dot us up. Are you fucking shitting me? What the fuck is that? Why no one's talking about that?
Yeah, no one said that. No one said that. What the hell?
That's what we've been saying though. It's like Louisville's been like putting up crazy numbers this whole season.
Right. I know.
Yeah, like,
that's why that's why when you guys were like, "Oh, they're 4-3, we can win this game," and I was like, "No, they put up a lot of points."
You make good points.
I do.
Brett just looked at Louisville's like who they played and was like, "Shit."
Dude, they put up like 100 points on Miami and still lost. We
bunch of points on them. They almost
motherfucker. This team is good.
They put a lot up on SMU.
Isaac Brown he got 564 yards and 8.3 yards a carry.
Yeah.
And he's got 20 receptions. I'm yelling. He's got 20 receptions for 115 yards and a touchdown.
He outplayed Haynes King against Georgia Tech too, who I thought was a really good quarterback.
Fuck, this team is nasty.
Oh, they're not a 4-3 team.
Nah, they're
Ja'Cory Brooks
for most of the year.
Ja'Cory Brooks is going to cook. He's got 36 catches, 679 yards, and 8 touchdowns. We have our leading receiver gets like 600 yards in a season. This guy has it in like 7 games. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying. That's why I brought up Mary Jackson because I don't know who is on him. I really don't know who they're going to put on Brooks.
Their backup quarterbacks are nasty too. Their backup quarterbacks.
They got good backup quarterbacks.
They got great backup quarterbacks. They should let Bailey Harrison just start against us to get some reps. Why not? That is unreal. Oh no, boys. This is brutal.
No, like I said, when we were 4-1 and I thought about going to this game at 6-1, 5-2. I was salivating. I was ready for this, but now we're 8-point dogs at home to a very good 4-3 Louisville. It's just
I'll take -8 on Louisville.
You're just trying not to go down 28-0 in the first half. That's what.
I know. Yeah, you just want people in seats in the third quarter.
You're trying to get this to be a game going into the half. You know, it's like I'm surprised that the line's only 7 points. That's how I'm feeling about this game right now.
I'm crossing the border and I'm smashing Louisville. I'm going right into Rhode Island and I'm betting. I'm not even a gambler and I'm betting on this game. Smash.
Yeah,
I'm smashing.
I mean,
-8. That's it.
Only 8, and we're at home, so that means they think it. I don't know why they think this is like a 6.5 point spread. It's crazy.
no, they think it's an 11 point.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah, I made it wrong.
There.
That's
But
nuts.
still, like that's
free money.
that makes a little more sense, Jack. Let me point that
Let's
out.
get rich.
Yeah, I mean that they're pretty much thinking that we're gonna lose like 34 to
On
34
paper,
to-
it's a 11 point
Yeah.
spread. Yeah,
34 to 24 on a neutral site or
That's
whatever,
ridiculous.
30 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I mean I really don't know much about Louisville other than that.
Say
Very
this is
good.
the one.
Continues.
The one positive, the only positive I'm looking at on paper right now is that they go to Clemson next week, and maybe they're looking ahead. It's on the road, short week, going up to Boston. Hopefully it's cold Friday. I haven't checked. And then they're looking at Clemson.
It's gonna be in the 40s, I think, at night.
Yeah, but the only
That's-
thing is
that's the advantage.
Thing is
That's-
like
That's what I'm
they're
saying.
they're not looking ahead of Clemson. They're using us as a tune-up. They're just gonna dust BC and then go carry for Clemson.
I mean, if like just outside of like the whole looking at the Clemson or whatever, the cold weather, I just don't see I don't see much of a path. To
that's a
victory.
stretch. That's like the only thing.
Oh, the path. There's no path. The path.
Like,
The path.
And
There's
it
no
sucks.
path.
It's not like we're playing Clemson. Like we're playing unranked Louisville, who's like good, but not. That just shows like how far we've come since being ranked after week 2.
I know. 2 weeks ago, I laid the path for 11-1.
What do they got to do,
I
guys?
want that on the record.
What do they got to do to pull off this upset at home, though? What do they got to do?
They gotta win. They gotta win. They gotta score 42 points. Like
They score a lot of points.
they gotta win 48.
It's gonna be like a shootout, and
Yeah,
like
but that's the thing. Like 42 points probably wouldn't even be enough.
when's the
right?
last time Boston College won a shootout game?
Duquesne.
Mizzou in 21. you that shootout?
Oh man, no, like a legit where like both teams are scoring back and back.
I know.
I can't even remember that. I don't even know if that's ever happened.
Yeah, I think Jack's right. I think it would have been Mizzou.
Well, if you consider a 41-34 win a shootout, I don't know.
Jack,
but
dude,
Oh,
2021. Jack,
you're right.
Jack was literally like a student at BC the last time.
Last legit
yeah,
field storming. Yeah, that
Wow.
was a good shootout win. Yeah.
Jack was literally an undergrad. He's like 2
junior
years
year.
removed now.
Did you
That's
storm,
great.
Jack? Jack, did you storm?
yeah. I was with
course.
I was a junior. It was parents' weekend, so I had my younger
Oh,
brother,
nice.
my younger sister in the student section with me. So yeah, we stormed. It was fun.
Dude, yeah, that's when Halfley was king. I remember that game.
I feel like I
Yeah.
should start staying away because like I was in Vegas for that. Shout out to that was a sick weekend.
Your Vegas weekend.
Yeah, it stays in Vegas. But anyways,
Anyways, yeah.
I
And
wasn't.
then
I mean,
Brett did
I
leave.
wasn't there.
Brett did
wasn't
leave
there.
halfway through the Michigan State game, and then we ended up coming back and winning.
Yeah, Brett, maybe you should take this one off, just in case.
I mean,
Man,
I'm down, but I don't know if it's.
I don't
gonna
think you're gonna
I
affect
don't think,
the Louisville game.
Yeah,
Brett.
I don't
Brett.
think
Yeah.
it's gonna matter. I mean, what do we? Maybe we lose by 4 instead of fucking 46. I gotta stop swearing. I'm swearing a lot today.
Not the
Swear.
PG
Swear a lot.
podcast.
Yeah.
We got the. Yeah,
It's just
guys.
unreal. It's unreal.
I mean, it's just
If you guys want to keep talking, you can. I have to go. I have a prior commitment, but I'll give you my prediction.
Yeah, let's get into this is 2 predictions then. Me and Brett trying to see the banner later tonight be raised.
45-21 Louisville.
Holy shit!
yeah, that sounds about right.
I wanted to pick them to lose last week, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah, we're all wrong last week.
Uh,
Pretty bad.
What'd I say? 45-21?
45. Oh God, Jack, do you have one on the top of your mind? I'm still thinking.
top of mind, I I said like if BC is gonna win, they're gonna have to score 40 plus points, whatever. I don't think, especially with Lamar Jackson down, Cam Arnold likely, or I don't know what his likelihood is of playing. They're gonna have to score a lot of points if they want any chance to win. And being at home, like we did see them move the ball against Virginia Tech a little bit, despite what the first half score said, of course. I think they do score a good amount of points. I think they get about like in that 28 point area. But I just don't see them winning against Louisville. I think I'd say about 42 to 31. I think they lose.
They lose.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2 L's on the board. 2 L's on the board.
Don't do it.
Oh, I think the only way they win is to get into a shootout, like the same way that they could have if they had gone down and tied it up 28-28 against Virginia Tech, but they didn't, of course. I think geez, guys. Yeah, I think they can. I don't think they actually will win in the shootout. So I gotta say 38-31 Louisville wins.
Yeah, in the
You
same
think they're
vein.
gonna score 31?
I said
Yeah,
31.
I think they get into a little bit of shootout. I think they make this some sort of a game into the third quarter.
I don't know, bro.
But then they just don't execute because they haven't proven. I can't get them. I wish that it would be 38-31 BC, but they
Who's
haven't
the
proven
delusional one now?
they can execute. So what?
Yeah.
Who's the delusional one now?
I don't think there's any room to be delusional with this team after their last couple performances. It's like
38-31. You think they're gonna lose by a touchdown?
I think they're gonna lose. I think they're gonna be in a shootout. I do. That's the hope. That's the best you can kind of ask for.
I think they're gonna get shot out.
Yeah.
Well, I think also like if you want to be able to, if you're BC, like keep the ball out of Tyler Shows' hands as much as possible, like kind of like the Florida State
Yeah, that
strategy.
motherfucker does everything.
I know. Yeah. Well, you
guys-
just want to be able to control the clock, control like time of possession. So like if they can, like remember the first quarter Florida State where they had the ball for like 14 out of like 15 minutes. Like they're gonna do something like that.
I hope that's the thing, Jack. I wish they could do that against this team.
Yeah, but they haven't shown they can consistently run the ball.
And then I'm feeling like if Louisville's going to be putting up points, it's like you almost kind of be like, whatever gets you points on the game on the board. It's like, so this whole take your time running thing. I mean, if they prove that they can do that, that's great. But they haven't really proven they can do that consistently. So it's like try to get as many points on the board as you possibly can.
Going back to like the whole. I mean, I agree. Like they haven't like run the ball super well, really. But like when I thought like. If you think back to the first possession against Virginia Tech, they got the ball first.
Yeah.
Their first 2 plays, they ran the ball, got a first down, and then they just kind of just went away from that. And they ended up punting. Like they did like a pitch play and like a pass short of the sticks. So I think they have it in. I kind of think they have it in them to establish a run game. Like I
think they have it in them. Yeah, I do. I think they have it in them to get in the shootout. I just. It comes down to will they be able to execute Louisville? It seems to me that Louisville has the huge advantage there because we haven't been able to.
Yeah,
pull that off
I mean,
yet. That's what I think.
All right, so yeah. All right, Brett. So you said 45-21. I said 42-31. Mac, you said 38-31.
Sprinkle a little field goal in there for the boys too.
All right, yeah, book it. Yeah. That's what I was banking them on. I think that
we've still only
I think they'll get some work. Yeah.
It's only been one field goal in the whole season, right? We've only made one field goal
through 7 games. Although I don't think the last one technically counts as an attempt because they didn't actually kick the ball. So I think we're still perfect from field goal range.
Is that true? That stat? Oh my god! Yeah.
I think we're 1 for 1.
Well, shall we do final thoughts? Brett, wrap it up.
Yeah.
I
feel like my final thoughts are very apparent through this whole podcast.
I think we know what you're thinking, Brett. I think we know what you're thinking. I'll just reiterate mine. I think if they want to have any chance in this game, they're gonna just put points on the board and control the clock. I think they're gonna have to dominate time of possession by establishing a run game, and if they're gonna do that, they're gonna have to really switch up some. Will Long's really gonna just make a change in his play calling, and remains to be seen if he's willing to do that. But yeah, I don't think any of us are feeling particularly good about this one. So
I'll just say, hey, Friday night game at Alumni. It'll still be a good time. Go with friends.
Hey, yeah, first home game in a while. I'll be
home
early. Guys,
I'll be there early.
Yeah.
Come say hi to me and Jack. Brett will get there at some point.
I'll be there.
I just think, obviously we've been kind of negative on this podcast, and rightly so.
Who's been negative?
I definitely not Brett over there.
No,
not Brett.
But I would say, I mean, I think the more rational takeaway would be, this is a patient. We're gonna have to have a lot of patience, apparently, like we've had with this program, and no one wants to hear that because I feel like we've had patience with it, for like decades now. But it seems to me this is a clear rebuild year. Let's try to have a good performance Friday. Let's try to move on. Let's try to get better. I don't know.
Hey, let's get better this week.
It's not last take, but I think this still, like we said, Bill O'Brien got in here late. None of these are his players. He needs a couple years to recruit and get his things in order. And I think that's the only way we're going to be successful is having a little patience with that. But hopefully we can get some wins along the way there.
Yeah, hey, I'm not going to let this negativity ruin my Friday evening tailgating experience. So I'll talk to you guys after the game. But I'm excited to
still have
a Friday night game.
It'll be good to be back. When was the last home game? Western Kentucky.
Yeah. So hey, maybe that's what we need.
I wasn't there for that either.
Friday Night Lights, a good time.
Yeah, sweet.
Until they maybe play.
Awesome.
The only home game I've been there for was like in its entirety was the Duquesne game. So that kind of makes you think.
Yeah.
I'll see motherfuckers Friday when we win.
All right, yeah. Flex on us, Brett.
All right.
I'll see you guys.
All right, boys.
Hold on, I gotta sign out.
Yeah, sign out.
We're waiting.
Remember that time I did the crazy sign off? I'm not gonna do it this time. That was unreal.
Yeah, no, I don't think this is the time.
No crazy sign off, Brett. No crazy sign off.
No. Remember I did that? I was like, I don't even remember what I said. It was fucking crazy. Episode 11 in the books. Louisville, Friday night. Be there, be square. That's cool, right? I can say that?
Yeah.
All right. Be there, be square. Go Eagles.
Right. Go Eagles. See you Friday
night. Wait. Next week, real quick. Next week, we got AJ Black hopping on the podcast. That'll be fun. Nice. And then we'll do a basketball preview. We'll get Beak on here too.
Sweet.
Episode 11.
Oh, we got a big one next week. All right. Thanks, boys.
All right, awesome. See you guys.